Welcome back to Cycling the Carretera Austral with Austral Bikes Guide. It's day 5, and today you won't be doing much pedaling, but you will be moving through one of the most spectacular sections of the route. This is the day of the ferries, fjords, and lush rainforest. Imagine traveling through a landscape so pristine that your cell phone becomes nothing more than a camera. That's exactly what awaits on Chile's legendary Carretera Austral, where disconnecting from technology means connecting with something far more profound.
That's such an intriguing perspective on this route. What makes this particular section so different from typical cycling adventures?
Well, here's what's fascinating. While most of the Carretera Austral is about pushing pedals, this segment forces you into nature's rhythm through a series of ferry rides through pristine fjords. The journey starts with a 3.5-hour ferry from Hornopirén, where you're surrounded by these massive walls of forest that plunge straight into dark waters.
How do travelers typically handle this transition from cycling to sailing?
It's interesting. Most cyclists arrive thinking it's a rest day, but the experience is so intense in its own way. The wind on those fjords can be brutal, even in summer, and you've got to be strategic about the whole thing. Getting to the port early is absolutely crucial.
Tell me more about what happens between these ferry rides.
So here's where it gets really interesting. Between the ferries, there's this incredible 10-kilometer stretch through what feels like prehistoric rainforest. We're talking moss-draped trees, unexpected waterfalls, and this profound silence that's only broken by bird calls and distant water.
That sounds almost otherworldly. How long does this forest section usually take?
Most people plan for an hour, but here's the thing. I've seen countless cyclists completely change their schedules once they're there. The environment has this way of making you want to linger, explore, and just exist in the moment.
What about accommodation? I imagine options are limited in such a remote area.
That's actually one of the most surprising aspects. When you reach Caleta Gonzalo in Pumalín Douglas Tompkins National Park, you find these beautifully designed wooden cabins. And get this, there's a free campsite by the river with better facilities than most paid sites I've seen.
How do modern travelers handle being completely off the grid?
Well, I witnessed this fascinating transformation. People start out anxiously checking their phones, but by sunset, they're having deep conversations with strangers, organizing impromptu hiking groups, or just sitting silently by the river, watching the light change on the mountains.
What essential preparations would you recommend for this section?
Beyond the obvious warm layers and rain gear, you need substantial snacks. Keep your ferry tickets accessible but protected, and bring some way to waterproof your camera. You'll want to document everything, especially during that forest ride between ferries.
How does this segment prepare travelers for what comes next?
That's actually one of the most brilliant aspects of this route's design. This forced slowdown serves as this perfect mental reset before tackling the challenging climbs through Pumalín Park the next day. It's like a meditation in motion.
It really challenges our usual metrics for what makes a successful travel day.
Exactly. And you know what's really stuck with me? Every single traveler I met, whether they were hardcore cyclists or casual tourists, shared this same look of quiet amazement. It's like the landscape has this way of stripping away our usual barriers and leaving us all equally humbled.
What a powerful reminder about the true essence of travel.
And that's really what makes this segment so special. It's not just about moving through a landscape, it's about letting the landscape move through you. In our hyper-connected world, these moments of genuine disconnection and wonder are becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable.